Hi, I'm Al Anderson, pastor of Friendship Baptist Church. We thank you once again for allowing us to your home, to your car, where you may be watching us from. It's Wednesday night Bible study lesson again. Friendship is located at 1239 Witherspoon Road here in Columbia, Tennessee. Tonight's lesson will be coming from the fourth chapter of the book of Phillipians, fourth chapter. And we just like to read one verse, the 13th verse. It says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I don't know about you, but that means a whole lot to me. Sometimes we need to be cautious of what we read and how we read things, because sometimes we take the lesson out of perspective. We know that all things mean all things, but we have to speak in regards and make sure that we understand. We want to be real thinking. We can't be in a cartoon way. So tonight's lesson just teaches us Paul. He was based his life on his trust in Jesus Christ, and we should base our life the same way. We should trust him the same way, not run when things get rough, and not doubt when things looks impossible, but to continue to trust him and know that through him, through Christ, we can do all things. Now, Paul was not he was a thermostat. He wasn't a thermometer, and I think we talked about before. A thermometer have the power, the ability to let you know the temperature of a room. But a thermostat has the ability to change the temperature in a room. So we want to be thermostats in life and not be thermometers. What I mean is that when you walk into a room and it seems like it's hostile and it seems like it's cold in there, we don't want to get cold or change with the temperature of the room. We want to change the temperature of the room to be comfortable as Christians. We want to change the atmosphere, so where there's sorrow, we want to be able to turn into joy. Where there's is hatred, we want to be able to turn into love. Where there's coldness, we want to be able to turn to warm it up. So Paul was that kind of a character, that kind of person. He was a thermostat because he was able to change condition. He realized he did not let the circumstance change him, but he changed the circumstance. So that means something when it said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthened me. That lesson tonight is real powerful and real important, because sometimes we think that all things really mean all things. But I'm here to tell you today that there's something we can't. Even if Christ, with his strength, there's something just not for us to be able to do. So we just ask you tonight for a moment to help us, to read with us. You can read the entire fourth chapter in its entirety and find out that there are so many things that Paul talks about. He said even though he had power and he had the abilities, he knew how to be abased. Then he knew how to abound. He knew how to be humble, and he knew how to raise it up if he had to step it up. God had given him the power, given him the ability to do those things. But he learned that through all his power, authority that God had given him, he learned to be humble with it. So he said, I rejoice. In the 10th verse, he said, I rejoice in the Lord greatly, that now at the last your care of me has flourished again, wherein you were also careful, but you lacked opportunity. And you want to take care of me, you want to do things for me, you want to give me some of your gifts, but the opportunity wasn't you wasn't able to. But now you lack opportunity. You have opportunity. Not that I speak in respect. I'm not begging for your gifts or your money. What Paul would say, I'm not begging for it. He said, I'm not speaking out of that, because I've learned in whatsoever state I am in, I've learned there to be content. I've learned, and it's a learning experience for us Christians. It's a learning experience. Some things you learn, and sometimes I think we was talking the other day. You don't know how to appreciate being up if you've never been down, and you don't know how to appreciate the sunshine if you've never been in the dark. You don't know how to appreciate being well if you've never been sick. So some things are learning experience. But Paul said, I appreciate the gifts and the offering that you have sent me to help my ministry, to help me to do things I have had to do and have to do with the churches. But in the time when you lack the opportunity, I appreciate it that you're making up for it now. But I just want you to know that I wasn't just looking for that, because I've learned to whatever state I'm in, I've learned to be content. I've learned to do, and that's something we need to learn. Some of us have gotten so comfortable now having a lot of money in your pocket. When the money stopped coming, like the old saying goes, when your money's acting funny and your change is a little strange, we have a tendency sometimes to forget. So Paul said, I've learned to whatever circumstance I'm in. See, I thank God, because we came from the old school. We grew up. And yes, I'm telling my age something now. When we grew up, we had wood stove. We didn't have, like we have now, electric heat or gas units, central air and heat. We didn't have that. We had a wood stove. In the wintertime, we had box fans, not window fans or window air conditioner, box fans in the summer, or window fans. But out of all that, so I know. There have been times in our life when we were small, younger, at home, we were doing the best we could. There was time we ate the same things 3 times a day. Whatever we had that morning for breakfast, we had again for lunch, and sometime that evening for supper as well. But we made it. So Paul said, I've learned whatsoever circumstance or state I'm in, I've learned to be content. And content means I've learned to be comfortable and at ease, satisfied. I've learned to adapt to whatsoever state I'm in. So I know there's a lot of us that think you got to have 3 change of clothes, and you think I have brand new tennis shoes every other month, children, and you think you got to have a 3-bedroom brick. But I'm here to tell you today that Paul said it's a learning thing. So we've gotten so comfortable and having so much that some of us are hurting right now, because we had never had to do without. And some things you're going to have to do. Some of us are used to name brand and wouldn't wear any other kind of clothes if it was a name brand. But I'm here to tell you, and I heard old folks say when I was younger, this one man said his daddy would put them on clothes, and sometimes he dressed a little funny, may have a striped shirt on and checkered pants. And they be saying, Daddy, that don't go together. And he said to them, start walking down the road and see what they go together. Just put it on and see what they go together. But what I'm saying is, sometimes we hurt because we think we got to have all this. But all we need really is the love of God. Everything else is just made up. It's good if you can buy a name brand, that's fine. But if you can't afford it, don't go out doing things you can't afford to do. So there's some things in life that we just have to learn to be content with. Yes, everybody's not going to have houses on the hill. Everybody's not going to have no mansions. But whatsoever God bless you with, learn to be content. And I'll tell you today that when you learn to be faithful of the few things, He'll bless you with more. But Paul was saying in his reading, he was letting you know that I've learned to be content. So I'm not so much concerned about what you're giving me. I'm glad, I appreciate it. But even when the opportunity wouldn't allow itself, I was still content, because I wasn't just living on what you were giving me. I wasn't just living. Paul's been a tent maker all his life, so he knew how to survive, and that's what we have to learn how to do, is survive, folks. We've got to learn to do. Yes, we hope and pray it may not have to come to that, but if it do, where you don't have gas, we have to learn how to go back to the old school. We have to learn how to burn wood and burn coal again. Maybe you don't ever know, but don't ever get to the point where you say, I can't do it. If you get to that point, then you've already given up. You've already lost the battle. But Paul said in the 11th verse, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned that whatsoever state I am in, I am therewith to be content. He said, I know how to be abased, and I know how to be abound. In other words, I know how to be humble, I know how to be low, and I know how to be risen, to rise up, to have more, I know all these things. I don't get excited about it. I know how to act. I don't know about anybody else. I know how to act with a dime in my pocket, and I know how to act with a $10 bill in my pocket. So money shouldn't make you, but we should make money. All right. So we sometimes we get it mixed up. We'll sit there and use people and try to make money, but love money when we should be loving people and using money. That's what it's made for. So in all these things, I've learned to be content. Yeah. Now, Paul, I know how to be up and I know how to be down, wherein I am instructed both to be full and at the same time, I know how to be hungry, both how to bound and how to suffer need. I've been there, done that, so it's no stranger to it. It's no secret. I've been there, I've done that, and through it all, I've learned this. And the 13th verse of where we come from today, the 13th verse says, "But I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me." But that's a lesson we want just to let you know. Now, this lesson is not talking about that you can do it and you can jump off of houses and fly like a bird. You can't. That's not what Paul is speaking of. Paul is talking about, he said, I know all these things. I'm a victor. I was not a victim. I'm a victor. I've become victorious over these things. He said he did not let the circumstance change him, but he changed the circumstance. And Paul said he was content based on other things, not escaping the battle. That's not what he's talking about, running from the battle. I wasn't escaping anything, but peace during the battle. I'm content. John 15th chapter, I said, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the light. No man comes to the Father but by me." So we know that Paul, and we need to stop that. We thinking that scripture means I can do all things. All of us are not singers. All of us are not musicians. All of us are not born to be preachers and pastors. All of us can't do. But if you think I can do all things, I can do the same thing. Whatever a bird can do, if he can fly in the air, I can do. No, that's not what Paul is speaking of. But Paul said I can make it because it's Christ that strengthened me. So whatever I need in life through Christ, I can do all things. That's what he's saying. Through Christ, he strengthened me. He give me what I need. If I'm hungry, he'll feed me. If I need clothes, he'll put clothes on my back if I'm naked. All these things is what Paul is speaking of. So in the lesson tonight, we just want you to know Paul was concerned. He's concerned about Timothy. He understood the circumstances in Philippi, how things was going in Philippi, the land, the city. He understood all that, but he also had dealt with some things. He said, "I'm notwithstanding ye have well done that ye did communicate with my affliction." You dealt with it. You knew what I was going through, and you communicated. You did our thing. But I'm just here to tell you that even in spite of the things I've been through, Paul is saying I've learned. It was a learning experience, and we all must have a learning experience. And when we come out of it, we ought to be stronger. We ought to be wiser. We ought to be better through Christ Jesus. So this Paul is saying, once again, the 13th verse, it's a list within itself. And you said it to yourself, I can do all things. I don't care how hard life get. You can make it through Christ that strengthens you. I don't care how dark it may get. You can make it through Christ that strengthens you. I don't care how much people talk about you and how much they try to run you down. You can make it through Christ that strengthens you. I don't care what you have to deal with. I don't care what they throw at you. Through Christ, not through yourself, or not through anything else, not through any miracle rag or no kind of oil, not through no kind of special water somebody wants to pray over and throw at you, but through Christ that strengthens you. So the lesson tonight just lets us know it's based on the true fact that it's Jesus that makes it possible. Paul said, "I've been up, I've been down, I've been hungry, I've been full, I've been both sides. I've been everything. I've been everywhere. I've been sick. I've been well." But he said, but my strength, and I learned that through whatever circumstance I'm going through, I can make it through Christ that strengthens me. So when we say I can do all things, what you're really saying, I can make it through anything. As long as Christ strengthened me. That all things don't mean that I can be a astronaut. I can't be, everybody not made to be a doctor, a heart surgeon, brain surgeon. So I don't know, I care how much you pray about, how much you want to do it, but there's something you're just not made for you to do. But when it comes down to dealing and handling situations and circumstances in your life, through Christ, you can make it. So you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. I pray that you allow the Lord to strengthen you and you allow to walk in his word and trust in his word. God bless you. God keep you. May God forever sanctify you until we meet again. And never forget, I love you, but God loves you more. God bless you. Until the next time.